Chapter 3 Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. This chapter is for those of you who are thinking to start reading the duology Carve the Mark. It's to give you a sense of what to expect, from the title to the chapters and the universe Veronica Roth has created. My name is Nesma. Turn the page. Welcome to another chapter of Between the Pages. I'm Nesma.
And Arhanin.
And today we will talk about the book Carve the Mark, written by Veronica Roth. Before we start, we'll just give you a quick summary before we get into why this book is good or bad, or if you should read it or not.
You should definitely read it.
You should definitely read it, but besides the point.
Yeah. Okay, so mainly we have two families, the family Noavek and the family Karaseth. From those families, we have two main characters. I feel like I'm giving a lecture. Anyway.
Keep going.
Akos Karaseth, and Syra Noavek.
Yes.
Syra and Akos. Okay, before we go into that. So mainly the world is a world, actually. Like, it's a universe with galaxies and planets and united planets, and like each planet has their own industry and their own language, and like it's huge. And every planet has an oracle which knows the fate of certain people. Yes, we're gonna talk about that.
Fate's favored.
Yeah, the fate favored. And they're oracles, they see the future.
Duh.
Yeah, duh. And maybe even they have their own politics. Yeah. So the fate favored.
Yes, the important part of the book.
Yes.
Which is like the whole plot of the story.
Some families or members of families have certain fates. Like, not regular lay people. No, nobody knows about their fates. The important people, the people that will have a huge impact on this world and how it's going to thrive or fall, or like,
yes,
you get the idea.
And newsflash, Syra and Akos are one of them. Who would have thought?
Yes. So yes, those are the fate favorite. But then generally, like all people in this universe or galaxy, they have gifts. Everyone is born with a gift. They develop it at a certain age, and this gifts maybe even decides their job or their, like, how they're gonna live. So yeah, that's it, I think.
Okay, that's it for the summary. Now we can go into discussing the book. The good part.
The good part.
Okay, so first of all, like, before we start with anything, let's address the cover of the book.
Yes,
the cover. What did you think when you first saw the cover?
That there was a monster inside.
Yes, it's like oozing out with like this liquid, and yes, it's so weird, but
and it's as if it left like claw marks, you know.
Yes, oh my god, that's one very interesting thing. What really now we have read the book, okay, but we already know what's in the story, so we know that the title of the book has a very huge significance to the novel.
Yes, we could say that the titling is classical, you know, where you take something from the story and there, you know, I recently studied the history of international cinema, and like the very first films were like they spoil the whole film. But no, not with this title. But it's like a classical title, I think.
Yeah, I think what's really interesting about it is that it's just not a title. It's something that is part of the story in a way, because it's like, even in literature, when we take short stories, for example, with a title of the novel, usually it sums up the story in a way, because sometimes you can already guess the story from the title. Like, before we even start reading, we sit down and we address the title and we think about it. And even later, after we finished reading the story, we go back to the title and think about the significance of the title to the to the story. Sometimes we take stories where the title is completely irrelevant to the story. Sometimes it's completely
like
off.
it's either that or this.
It's either this or that. And I think Carve the Mark is even something in the middle. Like, it's not...
It is.
It's something... We can't really explain it because we don't want to spoil anything.
I really do want to say it. But
Me too. I really want to say it, but let's just say it's not just the title, okay?
Okay.
I wanted to say as well something about Carve the Mark. We already know that it has a sequel, The Fates Divide.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I just want to address, I want to say that the title of the first book, Carve
Is
the
better
Mark,
than the other title?
yes.
Yes.
Thank you for saying it. Thank you for pointing that out.
We're telepathic, you know?
We are, yeah. It's just, I don't know, there's so much more meaning behind Carve the Mark because we know what it means, okay?
Mm-hmm.
People will always, like, the first time I held the book in my hand, I was like, what the hell do they mean with Carve the Mark?
Exactly,
Like,
yes.
and why is there stuff flowing out of the, like, orange fluid?
Yes.
What is this?
What is this? And, like, you can't pick up that these are stars and this is universe, you know?
No,
It's just,
no, you can't.
it's a wound of sorts and, like, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I think that is very, very interesting detail that just adds to the story even more.
And you would think, is that the mark or what? Like,
Yes.
it gets you thinking. Yes, that's
does
what I
get
meant
you
by classical. It's like, it's in there, but it also makes you think.
It has layers.
Yes, layers, yes.
Yes. Okay, going back again to being a literature person, something that I really enjoyed in the story is the development of the characters, okay? Mm-hmm. Usually, and I like how Veronica Roth took her time with developing the story or developing the characters more so into, how should I say it? The people they're supposed to be. You know? They were like, if you compare them from the beginning to the end, mm-hmm. there is a huge progression going on. There's a huge difference because we have two characters in the story. We have
two main characters, yes.
Yes, we have Syra and Akos, mm-hmm. and they're both completely different at the beginning. And then there's a huge change at the end, okay? Even... there's this drastic change by the end.
Yeah,
and I think...
And by the end, you mean in the next book? Or here?
No, I mean in Carve the Mark. There has been a little bit of change, okay? I don't mean like changing their personalities entirely, but I mean...
they are fated people, so...
Yes, they are. And what I was going to say is they either changed for the better or for the worse. Mm-hmm. It's something,
You could say that.
Yeah.
But let me comment, like, their names, the name of their world, the name of the... Like, the names, I couldn't pronounce them.
They were very hard,
Yes, it's like a new language and stuff. And the languages, like...
Oh my god, yes.
There are many languages in this book, like...
Yeah, it was so interesting. And
yes.
A funny trick that Veronica Roth did is that sometimes they were speaking in their language. She indicated that they were speaking in their language, but for us, they were speaking in English.
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
She there was one language that is called Thuvazit, and the other one is called what's it called? It starts with an S.
Oh wow, I can't remember. But there's the main language, or like the universal language from Othir. Yes.
Othirian.
Yes, this is was the main language, English, I guess.
Yeah, I think that was also very interesting because it's even kind of like Game of Thrones, you know, like a whole new language was created. You know, like the Dothraki language.
Yes, yeah.
And I think it's like you're starting a language from scratch. And I think it would be interesting to find out how authors even do that. I think they first of all, I don't think they do it alone. I think they have several people guiding them and like language experts maybe helping them to create a new language from the beginning. And maybe she's adding even hidden meanings behind it, like
and using these languages as a metaphor even.
Exactly. Or taking two words and making a new one, for example, and we don't know, maybe it's just like something only the author will know, and we will just
and that's frustrating.
It is frustrating.
But like also the relation of language to not just the nationality of the person or where they live, but even for to their blood. Like it's an interesting notion, you know, like
Yeah.
to speak a language by blood, like wow.
To come, like, even, oh no, I
Yeah,
can't
that's
say
gonna
that.
spoil, yeah.
I was gonna spoil something. Thank God I held myself back. Okay. Okay, another interesting thing I wanted to address is that Carve the Mark is not usually my style. Like, referring to this whole universe thing, and like, it kind of reminded me, I don't want to offend anyone, it kind of reminded me of Star Wars. You know, like with spaceships and different planets and different. I never watched Star Wars, so maybe that's my problem.
I watched a couple of them, but like
I never watched anything.
No,
but when I
not
think
Star
of like
Wars.
space and space shuttles and rituals in space and religions in space and stuff like that, it's like, I don't think I'm the person to compare anything to Star Wars because I've never watched it before. But I think when it comes to like pure fantasy from scratch, you know what I mean? Like, not
original. Yes, as an original.
as in, like, exactly. It's not like the Hunger Games or Divergent, because the Hunger Games plays in our real world, okay? Like, you can kind of imagine something like this happening. But with Carve the Mark, it's more like you were never introduced to something like this. This is something completely new, and it was really interesting to go through that.
And I like that it's not just a planet with countries. It's a universe,
It's
or
a whole
like
universe.
or with planets and
Different kinds of beliefs, different kinds of religion, and rituals and stuff like
traditions
that. And traditions and
like how we see that all from Syra, like from the point of view
of Syra,
and her love for different cultures and traditions
and even Akos, he's so green still at the beginning. Like, you feel like he's been cooped up in Thuva for such a long time that when he was introduced to Syra's world, he got to know things a little bit more and understood why they are the way they are. Because
he has her passion and like hunger for information, but in a quiet way, you know. He doesn't outright.
They even describe
explore.
the Thuvazit language to be the language of the romantics and the and the Noavex.
And I guess they speak like poetry or something.
Yes,
like,
yes. Or it was described, I think, as like Thuvazit was the language that flows like water on your tongue or something like that.
Yes,
I don't know. I
something
can't remember.
that is like poetry.
Like poetry, yes, exactly. Yeah, we were saying that before, that when you start the book, you're already very quickly introduced to a new world with all these different universes inside and all these different planets.
I guess by 1/3 of the book, you still haven't grasped
the whole thing. And it's like, Carve the Mark, you feel like it's only a fraction of what Veronica Roth is trying to make us see. Because you feel like she can't really put all this huge
world
into one book, and it feels so
overwhelming, I guess.
Yeah, it feels like she's just scratching the surface, you know? It's not really... it is deep concerning with the characters, but I mean the world around them and the language around them. It's very hard to get used to the idea because we don't know anything, okay? We're like completely blank.
I felt lost, but in a good way.
Yes, like, I was gonna say that
you entered this place and you're exploring it, but at the same time you're lost and afraid to see the next room or something. But you're going there with the characters, like you're...
Yes, I know. And I was gonna say that it kind of works for the book and works against it as well, because you think that like some people, when they could start reading this book and feel confused, and that in the first couple of chapters, and it might trigger disinterest or feeling overwhelmed with all this information, because I was definitely.
It took me like a month to finish the first 7 chapters.
Yes, exactly.
I was like, why am I in a child's mind? where are they going? How can I can't pronounce half the page. I was really disheartened by it. And I don't know, I just kept reading because I'm the kind of person who starts something and has to finish it.
Me too.
So I reached chapter 7 and I'm like, I can't leave the book. I have to finish this.
It's like this first couple of chapters, you're really confused. You're like, what is going on here? Who are these people? What are they saying? And then like when you're in it, you kind of get used to it. And I think that's the interesting part of the book.
And did you notice that like the chapters from Akos's perspective, they are in third person, and the chapters from Cyrus' perspective, they're in first person?
I noticed that.
I noticed it after a while, like,
No, I think
I turned the page back and forth and, oh, okay, interesting.
I think it's because Syra, in a way, is the protagonist of the story. And Akos is the side character, but he still has his own chapters. He still has his own chapters. I don't know why. But to be honest, Akos has to be there, kind of, because we can't just know the story from Syra's perspective only. And honestly, this is my own opinion, Akos's side is way more interesting than Syra's. I don't know, maybe because he's the guy.
I don't know, but he's still he's gentle and she's fire, like
yeah.
And like you wanna take this world slowly and bit by bit.
Yes.
Like, you're like Akos. Akos didn't know all the things that Syra knew. She went on sojourn.
So maybe we could relate.
Yes.
Akos's character was easier to relate to because we were as confused as he was.
Yes. And like we couldn't trust like who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, and he's like us couldn't trust that. So yeah, we what is the word for it? We related to him more.
Related him. Yes, we were with him side by side with everything, like mostly. Because the first character we're introduced in the story is Akos.
Yes,
he is the first one there, and it's actually I'm actually surprised about that. I actually knew that, and I'm surprised. It all makes sense now.
Yes.
No, because
you know what?
He's the one at first. Syra looks like the bad guy, and Akos looks like the good guy.
The good guy.
But then, of course, like the Beauty and the Beast effect, Syra actually turns out to be a mushball from the inside.
Yes. And you know what? The world got more interesting once it turns to
Voa. I think it's Voa.
Yeah, I think, yes. Okay. And like actually, you know what? The world of Carve the Mark got more interesting once we got to the bad sides. To the bad side of the world, of the planet, in Voa and Shotet, and like it became more intense. I think when they were in Thuve, they were just
calm and no harm
and watery, like
yes,
yes. But like it got more dynamic, yes. Once we got there, I think
the one thing that I really, really liked in Carve the Mark was the progression of the relationship between Akos and Syra, because it's obvious. It's already obvious from the beginning.
Obvious, yes.
That even reading what's it called?
Synopsis?
Synopsis? I think it's the synopsis, okay? What I was trying to say was that you immediately think that it's going to happen immediately, with their kind... I don't know if this is a spoiler or not. Is this a spoiler?
I'm not sure. Like, everybody expects the heroes or protagonists to get together,
to end up together, and that she prolonged their getting together, like till the very end. Like it was really long until they got used to each other, got to know each other, and then
not to accept each other even
accepting each other. And then it was like a whole process where, when you start a story, you want them to end up together ala tool, like
yes,
on the
right
spot.
The second. And when they end up together, you're like, no.
Not what I wanted.
That's like the usual thing, not.
And I think it's kind of genius because the actual, like, let's say the actual relationship when they were boyfriend and girlfriend, it was till the very, very, very end of the novel, and I really liked that, you know.
Yeah, I like
that it
prolonging
wasn't.
it.
Yes, I liked that she prolonged it as much as possible. Like, are they gonna be together? No, not yet. Oh, come on.
And like, it makes you concentrate more on the story and the
Yes.
events and the politics and everything, like, other than the love story, which is a given.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like, the love story should never be the focus. It should be on the side.
Yeah,
And
I
when it's there, it shouldn't be. I don't know. It takes really great narration to make it a good moment. You know, because sometimes
What do you
it's.
mean?
You know, when something is anticlimactic, like when you feel like fireworks are gonna happen, then it's just like a pew. You know, you feel that's what you feel like is gonna happen when they end up together. But then you're like, nah, this is not really what I wanted. And I think with Sarah and Akos, she nailed it. You know, she completely nailed it.
But was it anticlimactic when they got together? It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. That's what I mean. I mean, it takes talent to make
Yeah.
it not anticlimactic. You know.
But I remember me thinking, when are they going to split up? I don't know. It felt like now they got together. The climax for them getting together is to split up. I think, you know,
Okay,
from
now
stories.
we're going too deep into into something these people don't know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it for today's episode. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next
chapter.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for making it till the end of this chapter. We're so excited for you to read Carve the Mark and tell us what you think about it. You can join the conversation by following us on Facebook and Instagram. We are there as Between the Pages. My name is Haneen. I was happy to talk with you. Turn the page for chapter 3.5, Predictions.